Well, welcome to Travel Tuesdays. Let's talk travel. So, in case I haven't met you before, hi, I'm KickAss Kylie. I'm a crazy fun single mum, and I am based up in the beautiful Whitsundays. And one would think I would never want to go on holidays ever again because I live in what I believe is the number one. Oh, look at this. My amazing angel has just delivered me a cup of tea because it's dry July up here. And I also want to just give a shout out to my co-hosts, the K team tonight, Kath and Kerry. We are all doing dry July. We're recovering and letting our livers bounce back in between dream trips from Gari to Punta Cana and Kerry's wedding. So let me finish what I started. So yes, you would wonder why I would want to go anywhere because we live in what's been voted the number 2 tourist destination in the world, second only to the Maldives. And oh my goodness, we have an amazing call planned for you guys tonight. So I've actually been a part of Dream Trips for over 8 years. I've been on lots and lots of Dream Trips. And since COVID and our relaunch with our new owners and Dream Trips International, I think Punta Cana is my 5th trip next month, which is really exciting. And yeah, just cannot wait. And look, I have traveled extensively with Dream Trips. I've also traveled extensively without Dream Trips. And oh my goodness, I don't want to travel any other way than dream tripping because it is just a completely different experience. So what I'm actually going to do before we dive in to tonight's call, I'm actually going to get my amazing 2, it's like, how cool is that, co-hosts, Kath and Kerry, to introduce themselves and share a little bit about themselves. And they've also both traveled extensively and why they love to travel with Dream Trips versus any other way. So Kath, I might get you to go first and then we'll throw over to Kerry.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Travel Tuesday. So great to see so many of you on the call this evening. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Kath. I live here in the beautiful Whitsundays as well. It is an amazing place to live, but I still do love to travel lots of other places. There's so many places I haven't yet explored that I'm very keen to do so with our Dream Trips travel community. So where was I going to start, Kyles? What am I going to start on tonight?
So you've traveled extensively without Dream Trips, and I'm just going to add a little bit here. I introduced Kath to Dream Trips about 8 years ago, and she's like, yeah, off you go with your little travel thing. And Kath actually had her very first Dream Trip just last month with us to Gari or Fraser Island. And so what's the difference between traveling with Dream Trips, Kath, my little travel club, compared to traveling any other way?
I'll just go back a little bit. My mum was actually worked for Qantas before I was born. So I blame her for my travel challenges, or not challenges, but my travel bug that I've got. And look, I've been very fortunate. While I was very young, traveled extensively. I've also traveled extensively with my husband. I've traveled solo with girlfriends. I've traveled all over the world. So super, super fortunate. Thanks, Mum, for that. But I must admit, I've had some amazing experiences overseas, but traveling with Dream Trips is just next level. So all these beautiful people here in my top row, I don't know whether everyone else can is everyone else's top row, but anyway, I met most of them at Gari, apart from Kylie, obviously. I had the most amazing experience. It was instant connection with these people. I felt like I was traveling with people that I'd known my whole life, even though I'd literally just met them or maybe messaged them online. That was it. It was just instant connection. Yeah, absolutely. It was the most, I guess, out of the not expected thing that happened to me while we were on that dream trip was, like I said, I've traveled everywhere, been to some amazing places, met some amazing people, but that instant connection was just incredible. And I know now that I've got lifelong friends thanks to that beautiful trip to Gari. I guess the other thing for me with traveling with Dream Trips is that everything was organised for me. I didn't have to think, which is great. I'm busy. I'm a real estate agent and I'm crazy busy all the time. So I don't want to have to think. So the fact that everything was organised, I just turned up, everything was done. It was perfect. The excursions that we did were incredible. Like, we would not have experienced those things, I think, on our own, or certainly not to the same level. So anyone who's not traveled with Dream Trips, I think you absolutely have to give it a try. I think that's it. There you go. Done.
Thank you, KB. Well, I know we're going to hear more from you as we go through the call. So, Kerry, you're on my right-hand side. So you're the right-hand woman tonight in the K team. So I'm going to hand over to Kerry, who gets married in like days now. It's no longer months. It's literally days. So excited.
Stop it.
Fun, Kay. Over to you, beautiful.
I think I should make myself Kim. I think it needs to be the Kath and Kim show, because I think we're a little bit crazy like those Aussie girls.
Oh, my God. So, Kerry, funny story, I've got to interrupt. So every time Kath and I go somewhere together and we introduce ourselves, I say, we're Kath and Kylie, so you're going to think Kath and Kim. So if you call me Kim, it's okay, but really I'm Kylie. And they're just like, oh, whoa.
Crazy.
Okay, clearly you can jump to that one. So welcome, everyone. I'm actually from Nabiac in New South Wales. So, or Scabiac, as my lovely friend Chris loves to call it, but it is a lovely place, a very small community. But yeah, in the country, and I absolutely love it. But yes, I have travelled quite a bit myself, starting when I was quite young, and I went on a Kentucky tour and then ended up working for them. So I was very, very lucky to go to some very, very cool rock shows and travel all around Europe with this mad bunch of people. And I've had a love for travel ever since. But look, realistically, when I think about traveling and traveling with people and traveling with my partner, what I really loved about my trip to Santorini was that, as Cass said, it was extremely organised. So we turned up, there was someone picking you up at the airport, there was someone taking you to where you were, there was a welcome reception, you were told what you were going to do for the next few days. So there was never, ever that worry about how I'm going to get to the place, where is it, what am I going to do? Because you had a beautiful, wonderful crew waiting for you when you got there, and that was half the excitement. Running through that door and hugging people that you'd kind of seen but you hadn't met, like we did in Gary, like that was amazing. But in Gary, I met people I had seen online and people I hadn't met. In Santorini, it was a completely different world because there was people from all over the world, and I've traveled and I've met people from all over the world, but I sat at dinner with global leaders that were like the person next door sharing amazing stories. And we connected with these people from all over the world. And that was unexpected because I didn't think that I would love it. And I loved it. Like, I absolutely loved it. And I got sung to, I was dancing because you guys know I'm crazy dance queen. But it was just a different feeling connecting with people that you didn't know, and an amazing feeling connecting with people you do know. But it's just that seamlessness of turning up and knowing everything is taken care of. You get on a bus, you've got an amazing host, sit next to who you want to, pair up with whoever you want to, spend time on your own. Like Eamon and I went off and did the, romantic thing, but then we could go back and have dinner with our friends. So whether you're traveling on your own, with a family, as a couple,
just saying.
And I did get engaged in Santorini.
You just got engaged in Santorini.
With the most incredible photographer, thank you. So it's for everyone. I think that's a really cool part. It doesn't matter where you are in your life, who you're with. It absolutely fits everyone's idea of a dream trip. So yeah, look, the experience amazing, the place amazing, the people incredible, and you don't know what it's like until you connect with these people, and that's what makes a dream trip so special. So I absolutely loved it.
Oh, I love it, girls.
It doesn't matter if you are traveling alone, because you're not alone. You are absolutely not alone. It doesn't matter if you do want to spend time on your own, as you said, Kerry, you can go off and do your own thing, but you're never alone. If you want to spend time with someone or hook up with someone and have a drink or go and do part of a tour with someone, you've got company, you've got people to share that with, which is so incredible.
I love that. And even as a single mum, like the kids connect and make friends with each other. And, wherever one kid is where normally they all are. And that was really nice as well to see all of our junior dream trippers become really great friends as well. So I guess we're going to dive into the call. So I've got a really cool jam-packed schedule for tonight. So We're going to talk about some trip updates. So I had a call for a couple of hours today with Tammy Smith, who her and her husband Mark own DreamTrips International, which was incredible. So I'll share that. We're then going to dive into my absolute favorite planning tool, which is Trello. I used to say if Excel was a man, I would have married him. Well, now I say that about Trello. I wouldn't say I'm an organizational freak, and I can say traveling with both Kath and Kerry, both of these ladies are way more organized than me, but I do like to have everything at my fingertips, and Trello is incredible to do that. So we're going to show you that little tool to keep you organized and on track, and all of your friends and family in the loop with what's happening. And it's really handy if you're traveling with other people as well. You can collaborate and plan out your trip. Then we are going to talk about Bali. Kath, Kerry, and myself, I don't think you would get three people who love Bali more than the three of us. And I think Kerry and I have both been to Bali 9 times, and Kath wins because she's been 10 times. And we're really excited to plan a trip with you guys tonight to Bali for March next year for my birthday. I'm inviting you all to my birthday in Bali. It's going to be amazing. And then we will open up at the end for any questions. So I know we've got some brand new people who are on the call. So a massive welcome to all of our newbies. We always love to welcome newbies to our DreamTrips family, and cannot wait to meet you on a dream trip somewhere super, super soon. So DreamTrips. So let me give you the updates with Tammy. So first and foremost, as the name implies, these are dream trips. They're not cheap trips. They're not crap trips. It's giving you and your family something that you can't go online and book it yourself. Now, technically, yes, you could go and book the accommodation and the tours, and you could go do that experience, but it's not going to be anything the same as if you do it as a dream trip. And we actually had 2 of our dream trippers from New Zealand, Lee and Steve. Our Gari dream trip last month was their 6th dream trip. They also got engaged on a dream trip. Must be a thing with getting engaged on dream trips. I don't know. Maybe I'll meet my kick-ass king one day on a dream trip. And so they came up, and we basically put together a trip for them. And Kath and I live here, so of course we hung out with them. But it certainly wasn't the same experience. And they actually said that as much as they loved coming up to the Whitsundays and all the tours, they said it just wasn't the same. And so now they're rebooking to come back in October for our Whitsundays dream trip, because they want to experience the Whitsundays the dream trip way, which is really super cool. So we do have our dream trip to the Whitsundays in October, and we hope, fingers crossed, to have the link to be able to book that on Friday. So that is the goal, to have it launched. As you guys know, every Friday morning we have a DTI connection call with our owners, and the plan is to have that go live on Friday morning. So we cannot wait to get that in the system so that you guys can book it. I know we've already had people who've actually booked flights, which is amazing. So yeah, that's going to be super cool. So you will have not 1, but 2 hosts for that dream trip. And I don't know who that could be, Kath. Who do you reckon the other host might be? Oh, it's you.
I have no idea. Anyone else lives in the Whitsundays?
So Kath, actually, her house backs onto the resort that you guys will all be staying at, which is a family-friendly resort. And you can actually drive up. There's heaps of parking. And it's literally across the road from the water and the boat ramp at Whisper Bay. So if you are going to bring a toy like a jet ski or a boat or something like that, there's no problems with parking. The boat ramp is literally across the road, which is fantastic. And I also recommend extending out extra days, because there is so much to see and do. So yeah. So Kath, since you're going to be my co-host with our Whitsundays dream trip, what is it that you'd love to share with everybody that you're excited about for our Whitsundays trip?
Oh gosh, there's so much. But I think the number one thing is absolutely Whitehaven Beach and Hill Inlet. Without a doubt, it is so iconic. It's the most famous beach in the Whitsundays. I think it's rated number 2 in the world. Is that right, Kylie?
Yep, number 2.
Yep, so number 2 beach in the entire world, and that's right here in our backyard. So I am so excited to share that with everyone, and we've got an awesome day trip planned to get you there, and it's going to be so much fun. Kylie and I have done this trip ourselves, and it is super, super fun. You will not be
I've done it 5 times, guys. It's so amazing, and I can't wait to go again.
But it is the most incredible fun day out, and we promise you will have the most epic time.
Yeah, it's going to be incredible. So Cherry, I know that you came up to the Whitsundays not long ago to come hang out at the treehouse with me. What was it that you loved the most? Because like Kerry loved it so much, she's sitting there going, "Oh my gosh, like I've got to buy a property up here." Like that's how much she loved it. So Kerry, what was it that you loved about the Whitsundays?
Oh my God, the snorkeling, in that water that was crystal clear, and the guys actually snorkeling. Have I got a delay?
Yeah. That's all
Am
right.
I back?
So the snorkeling, yeah, you're back.
So the guys on the boat said it was probably one of the best days they'd had out on the water, and it was crystal clear. So where we were with the sun shining through, the colours of the fish and the coral, like I was just mesmerised. I could not believe what we were seeing. And the whole boat, like it was fun. Yes, there's drinks on the boat. Look out, of course there is. But everyone was having a great time and everyone was singing. And we got off at Whitehaven and the whole experience was just incredible. I had the best day. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, Kerry. See, this is why Kath and I actually love and why we're so excited about hosting this trip, because we want to give every one of you that experience. We want to put those smiles on your faces when you see, like when you snorkel. Oh my goodness, Trish, I just looked at you and you just put the biggest smile on your face just then. Like snorkeling here in the Whitsundays, I think that we've got the best snorkeling in the world and the best visibility. There you go, Zach, my son's in the background going, yep. And the first time that we came here was on a dream trip. We came here for my daughter's 9th birthday. We booked a Hamilton Island dream trip. She wanted to swim with turtles and cuddle a koala. And we did both of those things and so much more. Fell in love with the place. And of course, several years later, now we live here, which is pretty damn amazing. So I just want to super quickly share my screen just so that you can all see exactly what's happening on this Whitsundays dream trip. So I'm just going to go play from current slide. There we go. Alrighty. So we are staying at the Mantra Club Crocodile Resort, and it's a family-friendly resort. It's not the best resort in the Whitsundays. It's not the most expensive resort in the Whitsundays. And this was a strategic decision that we made because we wanted to make it budget friendly for family, but give you the wow factor with the extras and the tours. So our 4-day tour out to Whitehaven Beach, on the way, you're going to be in a speedboat that looks like a giant rubber ducky, doing donuts and hanging on and having the thrill ride of your life. These boats have got 700 horsepower, and I'm telling you, they're going to use every single one of them. The force that you feel when you're doing donuts, it is just so much fun. We'll be capturing it, of course. We've included a full photo package as well, so you get to get all of your photos, which is really exciting. But on the way out, you get not one but 2 snorkeling sessions, and you'll have your very own eco host. So whether you want to swim with Nemo, swim with turtles, whatever, like there's just so much to see and experience. It really is an underwater a wonderland. Like it blows Kath and my minds, and we go out there all the time. Then you're going to go to Whitehaven Beach, which I think is the most beautiful beach in the world, and it is just my favorite place on earth. And we're going to have a beautiful lunch there, and then you're going to do a hike up to the lookout. Now, all of those famous photos that you see of the Whitsundays, and I might actually just see if I can even pull up a photo for you guys. Like, it is so beautiful. It is so beautiful. So I'm just going to literally share my screen and show you so you can see what you are looking at here. There we go. And I'm going to go Google Hill Inlet, except my poor computer can't keep up. Hill Inlet. There we go. Look out. These are where you see all of those famous shots. So if we just click on images, And look at this. Like, that is exactly where you're going to go. You can get that photo. Like, look at this. It is stunning. And then in the boat, fingers crossed, if we pick the right day and the right tides, we're actually going to come in here, and inside the inlet, just in here, this is called Champagne Bay. And when you walk on the sand under the water, it's like all these champagne bubbles are coming up your legs, and it's the most incredible sensation. It is so beautiful. So look at these photos. Like, that is where we're going. That literally, it is the most beautiful place on earth, which is just so awesome. So that is our Whitsundays trip. I know some of you, as I said, have already booked flights. So it's the 5th to the 9th of October, 5 days, 4 nights, guys. This is going to book out, and it's going to book out really, really fast. So when this goes live at the end of this week, you want to be ready to click book it straight away. And we do highly, highly recommend that you actually do book on those extra nights. So that's the Whitsundays update. The second update was our Sydney New Year's Eve trip. Now, oh my goodness, this has just been crazy pulling this together because it is so iconic, and this time of the year is impossible to pull a trip together for a group. So we do have limited numbers. Again, this isn't something that you're going to do every single year. This is a once in a lifetime, like, total wow, high-end dream New Year's Eve. So arriving on the 30th of December, as you arrive, we'll obviously have our welcome reception. And then on New Year's Eve, oh my goodness, like, see right in the middle here in what we call the exclusion zone. So all of the private vessels are not allowed in that middle section. But there are some special cruise lines, cruise tours, and you can see them here, right in here. That's what we're going to be on. One of these boats, a New Year's Eve cruise with dinner and drinks. We're going to be right in the middle of that exclusion zone, and we're going to see both of the fireworks shows. So we're going to be in the perfect position for the fireworks, to see the Opera House, to see the Harbour Bridge. And as we all know, Sydney has the best New Year's Eve fireworks shows in the world. So that excursion alone varies between $1,200 and $1,500 per person. So we are not doing this as a cheapskate trip. This is a dream trip. So then on New Year's Day, after you've kind of woken up and had some time to regroup and think about the new year, we're going to start the new year literally on top of the world, well, on top of the Sydney Harbour Bridge anyway, and we have booked a sunset bridge climb. Again, that will have a full photo package so that we can capture those incredible shots on New Year's Eve from the water, on New Year's Day from the top of Sydney Harbour Bridge, taking in the spectacular sunset over Sydney, which is going to be absolutely incredible. Now, what we are actually going to do is we really need to know who we've got for this trip. So hopefully in the next few days, again, we're going to have a special link that you can just book the tours. And it'll be a separate link to be able to book the dream trip through the portal. We're separating them out because we actually want to keep the price down as much as we can for this trip, because it's going to be super wow. I'm telling people it's probably going to be total around $4,000 Aussie. We are working our butts off to keep it under that. We're like this close from being able to launch this trip. Just when we're going back and forth from Australia to the US and so forth, it does make it a little bit confusing. But I've spoken to both our Aussie travel planner today and Tammy Smith today, and fingers crossed we'll have this to be able to book super, super soon. But guys, this trip alone will be an incredible investment for those of you who are part of our Dream Trips community as travel influencers. The photos, the bragging rights, like, oh my goodness, after people see this trip, like, they are going to want to be part of this community, and they're going to be asking you how can they get in. So very exclusive, very high end, and yeah, we're super excited about that trip. the other update, oh my goodness. So we have also started to map out 2024. So if you haven't seen what we have in store for you, so in March, we are planning a trip to Bali, which we're going to talk about in a moment. In July, we are going to Ningaloo. So Ningaloo is about, I always get confused, latitude and longitude. Longitude is the vertical ones, right? I'm pretty sure it is. So the north-south, we're about level with Ningaloo on the Whitsundays, right? So it's kind of still tropical, but on the western coast of Australia. Someone said to me today, is that near Perth? I'm like, no, that's like saying Melbourne's near Airlie Beach. It's like nowhere near Perth, way further north, way warmer. So in July, we are going to be swimming with whale sharks in Ningaloo. So again, like just another wow dream bucket list experience that you'll be able to check off. And that's been something that I've been wanting to do for a lifetime. So we've started the planning process of that trip. I'm actually going to hand over just as a really quick share and a snippet, and I'm putting him on the spot, but I know he just, always knows exactly what to say and what to do. Our amazing leader, Chris Cummins, who has also been a tour guide, because, we all love travel. And Chris has the biggest heart. He's so much fun to travel with. And we actually took the owners, Mark and Tammy, forward driving, and Chris drove, and they were just like blown away. Chris gave them literally a dream day on Gari with everything that we saw. And Chris used to have his own tour company in the Northern Territory. So in September, October, Chris is going to be putting together a Northern Territory trip for us and taking us to the best places. So Chris, did you want to share a little bit about what you have in store for all of us dream trippers?
Yeah, just to give you all a quick update for those that don't know me. My name is Chris Cummins. I live down here in Brisbane. I've travelled all my life. I'm pretty much like the rest of the girls. I'm being lucky enough to be wealthy enough to travel 3 or 4, 5 times a year. So I tend to travel up to different areas. But I was a tour operator in Kakadu and Lynchfield Park in the Territory. Also had contracts with some of the travel companies for their vehicles. So I looked after Alice Springs and also Darwin. I was also on the military. So I did about 13, 14 laps of Australia with the military. I've been over to that side of Western Australia where you're going to swim with the whale sharks. And it's I went skinny dipping with a couple of girls there, and I come home with blisters on my bum. That's how hot it is over there. So you just got to watch the sun. Bucket loads of sharks. I mean, like there's sharks. There's all sorts of sharks. But it is a part of the world that you really got to go to really comprehend how diverse Australia is. The trip we're trying to put into out of Darwin and I'm trying to get it in a way that we can take 4 drives so we can actually feel and witness it more like actual, more like us doing it rather than being on a tour. But if we have to, we might have to do it on a tour. So we're just trying to work out whether we can get a company that can give us hire us like 10 or 12 vehicles. But basically what I want to do is take you in the parts of the territory that most people don't go. And I used to run tours into some of these places. A lot of them we can do on day trips. So we can do a day trip into Lynchfield Park, day trip into Kakadu, Catherine Gorge, Ayers Rock, and then maybe fly out of Alice Springs. So you really got to see this part of the world because even though it is Australia, it's so tropical. And Australia's so diverse, it's just crazy. You go down the bottom end and you're freezing and you can ski. And then you go to the top end and it's like being in Bali. It's gorgeous. And the amount of freshwater springs and stuff like that. So it's definitely something that I'm working really hard on trying to put together. I've made a few phone calls into some of the people I know up there too. So we might be able to arrange something. And worst scenario is I'll take a massive bus and I'll throw us all on a bus and we'll just go on a bus so we can go to all the places we want to go. But that's what I'm working on with the stuff in the territory.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited, Chris. Like Chris puts together the best trips. To travel with him is absolutely amazing. And I have been to Darwin twice and I have not seen anything. I went up there both times. I used to be a business coach. So I went up there for work and I literally saw the inside of a gym both times because it's owned 13 gyms. And so, that's a big part of Australia, right? And there's so many Aussies who haven't been there. So super iconic, and excited to check that off, and for my kids to experience that as well. So that will be September, October. And it's been my dream for years to give my kids a white Christmas. And so we are planning a white Christmas to Whistler in Canada for 2024. And that trip, again, is going to be epic. Booking it so far in advance, like with an 18-month booking window, it gives everybody plenty of time to plan and prepare. We're probably going to have a dream trip and then have like our Oceania team group as an extended holiday as well. And yeah, even when I shared that with the US owners and leaders, they were all excited. Like, I'm like, haven't you guys done that? Like, it's in your backyard. You know, we've got all these Aussies traveling halfway across the world to have a white Christmas in Whistler. And they're like, oh, that would be really cool. We might come on that one too. So I love that our Oceania region is actually inspiring the rest of the world. And speaking of which, there's 6 of us crazy Aussies heading off this time next month. We will all be in Punta Cana. And oh my goodness, that is our trip 1. So for those of you who don't know, we have an incredible DreamTrips Rewards program where it's from 1 to 100 trips. So once you hit 100 trips within our DreamTrips community, you actually get 50,000 US dollars, which is obviously about 75,000 Aussie dollars, to put towards a dream trip of a lifetime, a custom trip for you and the people that you want to invite. And so the company are doing their own journey, and they're launching a brand new influencer campaign, and there's going to be lots of promos. So that trip is going to be everywhere on social media. So that's going to be really exciting as well. And yeah, just totally wrapped to have. Oh yeah, we've got Jacob online too. So Chris, Kath, myself, Alison, I think he's online too. Did I see Alison's name? I can't see Alison, but I know I can see your name. So Alison's going to be amazing. And we've also got Jacob and Jeff. So that is just going to be an awesome group. And keep an eye out for a giant koala. That's going to be Jeff. He's determined to be in every video and every photo as a giant koala flying the Aussie flag. So yeah, that's going to be, because you know us Aussies, like, we're loud and proud. We like to have fun. It's going to be crazy. Okay, so they are the trips that we are currently planning. Kerry, how much? Look, Jeff is the king of dad jokes, Kerry. Like, are you going to like come in under the radar with the mum jokes now? I love it. Oh my goodness. Kerry's like, I see Jeff's dad jokes and I raise them with my mum jokes. Hilarious. I'm not getting a tattoo, Jacob. I'm a proud Aussie, but I'm not getting a tattoo. A fake one, maybe. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is Trello. So let me ask you, whoever feels when they have to start booking travel, who feels a little bit overwhelmed? And even just like all the different things, like, oh my goodness, like there's flights and there's transfers and there's visas, and maybe you've got to do passport applications, and then like itineraries and tours and accommodation, and oh my goodness, like there's so many things. And even as someone who's traveled extensively, one of my very first jobs, I used to work as a travel agent and or travel consultant, and oh my goodness, like I get overwhelmed booking all those things. It's so time consuming, and then you want to compare different things. And that's one of the reasons why I absolutely love booking trips through DreamTrips, because you have everything done for you. And especially like us Aussies, DreamTrips love our Aussie community. We had the Vice President, Dom Stabile, who is the head of all of the call center customer service. He got up on the 4th of July in the US, which obviously is a big day for them, at 5 a.m. to jump on a call with us 6 Aussies to basically help us put together all the extra stuff for our trip. Now, obviously, that's very VIP. You don't normally get that level, but that's just what the company does, because, you know, we're showing up and we're traveling 40 hours to get to Punta Cana, and they were like, oh my goodness, like we just have to help you guys out, which was really cool. So Trello. So I love to be able to have everything in one place when I travel, and pretty much anywhere in the world now that you travel, there's free Wi-Fi, especially in all the airports. So it's really cool that you can now have everything right on your phone at your fingertips, but you can also electronically send that to family and friends and emergency contacts and the people that you're traveling with, so that it's super simple to have everything mapped out and organized. Now, Kath and Kerry know more than anyone how much I love Trello. And I think I've now converted them both, which is amazing. So I thought I would give you a little bit of a look behind the scenes of how I actually organize our trips through Trello, and show you a few boards, a couple from previous trips and one for our current trip to Punta Cana. And then I'm going to actually quickly show you how to create a new board, because we're going to create a new board for Bali. Who's excited? Oh my goodness, I'm excited because I just love Trello. Some of you are like, oh my goodness, really? Wait till you see what I'm going to show you. Then you'll be, Trace uses a spreadsheet. I used to use spreadsheets, Trace, but I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what your thoughts are after I share this with you. Okay. So this was the trip that Kerry and I did in October last year. So this was actually our trip. I did 2 dream trips back to back. So I did Santorini and Athens. It's an incredible back-to-back trip, because between Santorini and Athens is literally a 40-minute flight. So you can see here, I like to have my important info. So really important that you have a copy of your passport, because guess what? Shit happens. Sometimes people leave passports in safes in hotel rooms. Sometimes they forget to pick up their passport and turn up to the airport without them. Some people have their passports stolen. So super important that you have a photo of your passport. And with this board, you can see I'm on this board. KB is on this board, which is Kath, because Kath was actually my emergency contact, and she was staying at home and keeping an eye on my kids. So it was really good that Kath could see where I was at and have everything at her fingertips. Of course, Kerry was traveling with me. And then we had another one of our dream trippers here from the Whitsundays, Pete von Eitzen. And Pete, just loved that I had everything here for him. So passports, our full itinerary, all of your booking reference numbers, like you've got booking reference numbers for your dream trip, for your flights, for whatever. So they were our booking reference numbers. Lounge passes. Now, when you are a priority member, which Kerry, Kath, Chris, myself, Alison, I think there's a bunch of us on this call who are priority members. As a priority member, we have our lounge passes included. So that's a 3-hour, all you can eat, all you can drink, use all the facilities. It's very VIP. And when you have layovers, oh my goodness, you cannot travel without them. So when you go to the lounges, you actually have to produce your lounge passes. So you can see there, I had our Dubai lounge passes and Athens lounge passes there as well. Travel insurance. So it is really important, especially when you're traveling overseas, that you have travel insurance. So I always like to have the contact details and the policy number there. Dream Trips support. So if something happens, you can actually call Dream Trips. When you're on a dream trip, you also have a WhatsApp chat that you have someone from head office and your host in. So if something happens, if your flights are delayed or whatever, then you can communicate through there as well. I don't even know what was in. Oh, actually, I know what that is. So that was just the cost of how we were breaking up our costs. So flights and lounge passes, you can see I've then got each of the individual ones. I love to have my tour and activities. So what I love to do when we're going to a new destination. So for example, on our Punta Cana trip, on the way over, we have an overnight layover in Miami. Now, as a plus or a priority member, you can literally contact concierge and say, hey, this is my layover. What tours could you suggest that I do in Miami? I actually really love, part of the excitement of traveling is exploring, and I love to Google. So I just popped something like this in, best tours in Miami. And I also look up TripAdvisor to see what they say. Now, I think I did this one, top 10 tours and excursions in Miami. And in here, we actually found an excursion that we are going to book that had awesome reviews. No, it wasn't that one, but it was like that one. It basically was a Miami cruise and city tour, which looked incredible. And of course now, is that it there? No, that's the private one. So here's another trick, guys. So this one here, we saw, hey, that looks good, a private night cruise. But if you're looking at something like this, you want to make sure that you look at what is it on, because that sounds amazing. But when we actually clicked through and looked at all the photos, it was a pretty small boat, which definitely wasn't what we were looking for. So make sure that if you are booking something yourself, that you check that out. Or if you find something, send the link through to the concierge and then let them do the work for you. And you can always look at those TripAdvisor reviews as well. So you can see there, that all looks really good. I think it even says on here, private cruise, about your captain. It did say something about the boat in there. What did it say? Here, in a luxurious Monterey vessel. Now, I happen to know boats. I love my boats. And I'm like, there's lots of different types of Montereys. Let's see what it is. And it wasn't until we looked through all of the photos. Where is it? There it is. Now, hey, that's a really great boat if you want to go wakeboarding on the lake. But for that type of cruise, I was like, yeah, no, no deal. So it is important that you look into those type of things. So if you've got a bunch of people going on the same tour, on the same trip, you can basically pop all of those ideas of what you think you would like to do. So I had Greek dancing. There was an Athens food and wine tasting, a half-day tour, highlights tour with an e-bike after sunset. And then I had all of our Dream Trips info in there as well. I really wanted to do the Mamma Mia experience while I was there. I had poor concierge working around the clock trying to make that happen for me. But unfortunately, it was just the wrong time of the year. It was off season, so I couldn't do that. But that's now my 50th birthday trip for 2025. So I like to have all the accommodation details in there as well. Now, this is really important because when you arrive at the airport and you're filling out the immigration card, often you have to put down where you're staying and what the address is. So really important to have all of that information there. The itinerary, I love to kind of have everything that I can click. And with these, you can also like literally click and drag to different columns. So if you like to kind of drag it across once you've done something, that's cool. I always have my to-do list. So then once I've done things, that should have actually been dragged across there. And that hopefully will be empty by the time you leave and everything will be in your done pile. So that is how I organize my trips. So this was my last dream trip to Hawaii. Again, there were 6 of us that went on that trip as well. I was traveling with my partner at the time. So we had, again, passports, ESTAs, all of our airport lounges, COVID certificates, all of the things that we needed to do right there. And for this current trip that we're putting together, there's 6 of us again, and we have all 6 of us on this board, and it's so great because it's really interactive. So once again, you'll see I always have that important info column on the left, and that's where we're putting in important things like our passports. Oh, look, I've even made this one look a little bit prettier for you. Isn't this one nice? See, every trip I do, the boards get better. So this one's way prettier. So contact details. So there's actually 6 of us on this trip. So in here are all of our phone and email and so forth. Again, we've all uploaded our passports, insurance, lounge passes, and so forth. Whoops. To do. So we've still got some things that we need to do before we go away. You also need to look at your mobile, your international phone plan. You need to let your bank know so that, when you pay things on your card overseas, they don't stop your card thinking that it's fraud. I like to have the itinerary again all mapped out so it's really clear what we're doing on each day. Tours and excursions. So again, we had, different thoughts and suggestions in there. And then we've also got our communication, which is our Aussie WhatsApp group. So really amazing how you can plan that out. Inside each of these cards, so if I click on the ESTA one, for example, which is the visa that we need in the US, you can see here I've created a checklist. Chris Cummins, where is your ESTA? You clearly haven't uploaded it. Oh, that's probably my job. But you can see here we have a checklist. So we've all ticked off who's done what, and everybody has uploaded their esters in there, which is really cool. Now I could literally go back into that, and it's just like, this is another kind of social media platform. In here, I could put a little @ symbol, and then I can tag Chris, and I can put a little dover in here, and I can say, please upload, whoops. Please upload your ESTA. Oh my goodness, I think my keyboard can't keep up with me. Please upload, or the internet slow or something. You get the picture. Your ESTA. Save. And then Chris is actually going to get a notification, and that's going to then be a reminder. You can even add deadlines on here if there's a date, and it'll pop up with reminders. It's super cool. To attach a document, you literally just click attach. Again, everything is really easy to use on this platform. Now, if you were going to be creating a brand new board, and I won't spend too much time on this because I really want to get into the conversation around Bali and open this up for questions. So because we've already got that structure there, I can literally just click on these 3 little dots and then click more, and then I can pop down here, copy board, and it literally does like a copy and paste, and it will copy that board so I don't have to start from scratch. So if I click copy board, title, so this is going to be, I'll call it Bali. My poor keyboard cannot keep up today. Bali, whoops, B-A-L-I, Bali, Dream Trip 2024. Oops, we better put March in there, hey. March 2024. Now, you can then also put it together in a workspace. So I know I've got no boards left on Dream Trips, but I did create a Dream Trips 2024 group, and then I can go create. And that's literally now going to copy everything from this board into a brand new board. And obviously then I'm just going to delete off all of the different things that I don't need anymore. The first thing I love to do when I start a new board is I love to change the background so it's actually consistent with where I'm going. So again, if I click on those 3 little dots, click change background, you can upload a photo yourself, you can make it a color. But if you click on photos, this is actually connected with Unsplash. So if you then type in Bali, and it's really cool, you can use the Trello board to create a bucket list, which is really cool as well. This is Tanalot, which is just absolutely stunning. But then you've got your rice paddies and the beaches. Like, Bali is just so beautiful. So we're going to click, oops, this one. And then we can muck around with this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen because we can, update this in a moment. But what I would love to now do is get Kath and Kerry just really quickly to share what they love the most about Bali. And then what we're going to do is open it up to a discussion with the group, or if you feel that you'd prefer to just type it in the comments, that's okay as well. We want to know, what do you want to see, do, and experience while you're in Bali? Because Bali, like, there is literally something for everyone. If you just want to do a sit by the beach, drink your bintangs or your cocktails and have $5 massages every day and have a really cheap, cruisy, relaxing, beachy party trip, you can do that. If you want to go shopping, if you want to have a family trip, if you want to have a spiritual, transformative kind of a trip, if you want to see all of the animals and the wildlife, like, there is just so much to do. It is absolutely amazing. So Kath, I'll throw to you first, And I know that you could talk about Bali for 5,000 years, but if you can, just brief, what do you love about Bali? And then we'll go to Kerry and then we'll open it up.
Right. The people, the cheap beers, cheap massage, the crazy traffic, the great shopping, the rice fields. Actually, there's not much to dislike. Nothing at all. I love it all. The whole place. It's amazing. That's it.
Wow. That was I'm impressed, KB. Good job.
Yeah.
Over to you, beautiful.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Look, I first went when I was 17. I lived in WA, so I just had to jump across the ocean to get to Bali. So when I was 17, I went with girlfriends, it was party time. I went back 18 months later, and Froggy, one of the guys from the same resort, still remembered me. So the people in Bali are incredible. They don't forget you. And they're just the most amazing, welcoming people that just, their life's tough, so they will do anything for you. You can have your massages, but they just want to be around you. They want to sell you everything as well. But if you're 50, like I was a few years ago, I can now enjoy the luxuries. I'm not the party girl. Well, I still am, but I can do both. So it's got a bit of everything, and it's affordable. I've still got rip curl and, surf clothes. When I was 18, I love those shorts. They don't die. So, the shopping is incredible. There's so much just to enjoy. I just love it. Love it.
And it's so close for us Aussies to get to, this is the other thing. So it doesn't matter whether you're flying from the East Coast, the West Coast, or up north. It's a really quick trip, not like Punta Cana, which is 40 hours.
Yeah, which is just insane. And I just want to let you all know, because I'm that geographically challenged person, and Chris is probably going to laugh and say, yeah, she's got lots more challenges than just the geography. I'm getting in first. But honestly, I have to share, it's a little bit embarrassing, but anyway, this is just my life. Oh, it's always entertaining when you travel with me. I've got to tell you that. So I arrive in Bali for my, I love how you lot are all nodding. So I arrive in Bali for the very first time, and on the immigration form, again, because me and forms, I'm not very good at admin at all. And so you've got to write the country, about the destination country. And of course, I wrote Bali. And just in case you didn't know, Bali is not a country. The country is Indonesia. And so I get to immigration, and the guy looks at my card and he looks at me, and he's just trying to what is even wrong with you? And he's like, you put Bali as your country. And of course, I'm all excited. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, Bali isn't a country. I'm like, huh? And I was so confused because I had no clue what he was talking to. And he's like, Indonesia is the country. And I was like, oh. So don't be silly like me. The country is not Bali. It's Indonesia, just in case you didn't know. Am I the only one? Chris is like, yeah, you're the only one. Okay, fabulous. Thank you for that. The other side of it is Indonesia comprises lots of different islands. So guess what? I've only been to the main part. I've traveled extensively throughout Bali, but I haven't been to any of the islands. And so one of the places that I've recently found out about that I cannot wait to do as part of this dream trip is a place, and I'll probably pronounce it wrong, so Kathy might have to bail me out. I might have to phone a friend. Nusa Penida, is that how you say it?
Right.
Amazing. And it's a lot quieter. It's like Bali was 30 years ago from what I have seen, and absolutely beautiful. So what we're thinking is that we're probably going to map out 3 back-to-back dream trips. Each of them will be 3 nights, and then you'll be able to extend out. So we're really looking at putting together 3 different styles of dream trips so that you can really experience Bali in multiple different ways to see everything that Bali has to offer. And if there's one particular trip that's not your style, or if you just want to do one and then extend out, or if you want to do all 3 or whatever, it'll be totally customizable. Of course, I'll be on all 3 because I can't help myself. And that's why we wanted to have this call, to get your insight, to get your input as to what you guys would love included. So Three's a charm. I love it. Exactly, Sue. So would anyone like to share us questions since we have our Bali panel on the call tonight? Oh, yes. Who wrote that? The fish that feed on your feet. Oh, my goodness, Nolsey. How cool is that? That is the weirdest thing the first time you do it. You sit and you put your feet into a fish tank, and then all the fish eat all the dead skin and stuff around your feet, and it tickles. But it's very cool. It's super cool.
I've done that in Malaysia and in Thailand and in Indonesia. I actually now I'm a little more challenged by the fact that the poor fish.
So you're saying you got bad feet?
Well, yes, but thanks, Chris. But I am a little bit conscious of animals, including fish. So yeah, that's just my take on that. But anyway, yes, I have done it. It's very entertaining.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So what else? Anyone want to, feel free to unmute. Like, don't be scared. You're allowed to share. We want to hear from you.
I haven't been to Bali, and it's probably one of the places I haven't been. So I reckon if you guys can put together
Chris
three
Cummins, are you
good trips.
serious?
You are so love it, Chris. Trust me. Oh my God.
I've been to the other islands near it, but not Indonesia. So yeah, if you want to, I reckon if you can put your heads together and put 3 trips one from each of you, and then I think it'll be great, because I think it's one of those places a lot more affordable, so that a lot of us can do the 3 trips back to back, where some of the other places are just so expensive. Where Bali, it is a bit expensive now to what it used to be from what I've looked up, but it's still quite reasonable compared to some other places we've got to travel to from Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, Nolsey, I'm with you. I want to go to Gili Islands, Gili Air or Gili T, the ones that I would like to go and visit. Yes, Diane.
Yeah, I've actually been to Gili Air and stayed with my daughter, and it was the most incredible experience. It's about 2 hours from Sanua, so it's a little bit longer, but it still has horse and cart. There's absolutely no there's no cars or anything there, and
Wow.
but they take you down. There's just every place for cocktails. It's all it's not a very big island, but on the other side of where you come into the port, it's got the most incredible sunsets, and they take you around for cocktails and all that, and it's by horse and cart, and just like amazing going back. And they do even train people to be, scuba diving and all that sort of thing, because you can just basically walk out in the water and put your snorkel on and just swim with the turtles and the fish, and that it's incredible. So the other one that you just mentioned is just more of a party island. That's more for, it's a trip, $60 or something over to, what was the other one you just said, Kerry?
Gili T.
Gili T is more for the party goers and rages. So can go over there for the night. I suppose I didn't get to that. I didn't. I was too sort of peaceful and stayed in the most incredible little place. The friendly people. It's just, oh my God, the most relaxing place I've ever been, really. So yeah, worth the trip to there.
Thank you.
And the food. Do you guys remember the food carvings out of the fruit? What they can do with watermelons and pineapples and any kind of melon, like the presentation of the food and the variety of what you can eat. It's stunning.
The food's incredible.
The water. Yeah. Don't drink the water though.
No.
With red cordial. We travelled with red cordial.
Together. Yes, breakfast.
There's also, I don't know if it's still there, but I haven't been on everybody goes, don't they, to Bali, and my niece, like they get those beer buses, like you pedal this, have you seen those? You pedal the cart down the street and you're all on this cart together and you're just doing drinks and you see the sights, but it's just very, very good fun. I think you pay a sort of a set fee. And I don't know if it's just beer, it's beer and something, whatever. And everybody's like, I can imagine as a group, that would be, I haven't done it, but it would be a fun thing to do as a group.
Diane, I think that we should have a competition. How many dream trippers we can get on one scooter? So if you haven't been to Bali, like seriously, you'll see like a whole family of 10 people on one scooter with a pig and like baskets with veggies and fruit and like, it's hilarious. And it's a bit of Rafferty's rules. So their only road rule is beep and go. If you beep, it means I'm coming through. It's not beep, I'm angry, get out of my way. It's beep. I'm coming through. It's hilarious. It's lots of fun.
In Ubud, I lived in Ubud for 4 months because my daughter lived in Bali for 2 years. And salsa dancing is everywhere. It's the big thing. And so is music. You can go out every night. You'd love it,
We're never going to see Kerry.
Yeah, it was just
Where was that?
Yeah, entertainment plus, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, I hope that that's given everyone like a little bit of a flavor of Bali, because really in Bali, there is something for absolutely everyone. And despite, you know, some people giving Bali a bad rap, I personally feel it is such a safe place. It's got a beautiful energy to it. And of course, if you're traveling as part of a dream trip, then we're going to keep you safe. You're going to have the best experience. The people are amazing. And the average Balinese earns about $100 a month. So you can literally tip them $5 or $10 and they will do anything for you because they are so grateful. They're really beautiful people. And, you know, if you just make a little bit of an effort to learn a few words or ask them about their family or where they're from, like, again, like they just appreciate that so much. So I'm so excited to have my birthday in Bali next year, and I'm really excited for us to be able to help share our love and passion for Bali with each and every one of you.
What date is it?
My birthday is the 10th. I don't know what part of trip we'll have for that. Oh, we're just planning March next year. We haven't got dates set, locked in yet. Yeah.
Well, mine's the 20th, so you better make it 10 days.
Well, that was the plan, a 10-day trip.
Really?
It was. So 3 trips put together, each of them 3 nights each. And then we'll also give you guys some recommendations depending on your circumstances, if you're wanting to do something romantic or something spiritual or something like shopping or party or family or whatever, to be able to extend out extra days as well, because it really is a great place for us to go. And there are so many things to see and do. So we will, I promise you, put together some really epic experiences to give you the real highlight reel.
Andrews is on the 20th too, Kylie, so you better put that one in.
Oh, wow. Both
it's going to be massive.
That's super cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I've been copying all of your comments and putting them into our Trello. I've personally done the elephant ride and it was absolutely amazing. It was terrifying as you're going down this hill, but they are just so soft and gentle and just absolutely beautiful. Yeah, that's pretty special. So we'll again see what we can put together. All righty. Well, thank you for everyone's contribution with the Bali discussion. And obviously that will continue. I also love the monkey forest in Ubud as well. That's really beautiful. So we'll come up with a bunch of things to do with you guys. So now I know we've gone over time and I apologize, but I just wanted to open up if anyone had any questions that they wanted to ask that are either about the portal or the rewards program or the loyalty points or anything like that, because this is the time to ask. We've got a bunch of people who love the portal. We've got our cruise expert, Tracy, on, who has been in that cruise portal like no one else I know. Kath, I know, has booked a whole heap of accommodation through the portal and used member loyalty points, as have I. So, yeah, if there's any questions, feel free to ask and either pop them in the chat, or if you want to unmute and ask a question, that's fine as well. I feel like we need some music now. I know. It's like, oh. All right. Did we have any? No.
Have you got any update on the cruise portal, like of what we're going to see when we've done our 6 months? Just
great question, Di. So yes and no. So just for everybody who's not aware, once you've been a member with Dream Trips on any of the membership levels for 6 months, so you pay your $1 to join on month 1, and then you pay either 70, 100 or 130, depending on your membership, for the next 5 months. So once you've made that payment for your 6th month, then you will be emailed a voucher so that you can book your free cruise. So that's valued at $1,000 US. And there will be upgrades, so you can put it towards a cruise, you can have better cabins, you can extend out all the things. All you've got to do is add on your fees and taxes. So it's going to be amazing. So that's going to be super exciting for all of us to start booking those cruises. And I know that there's a bunch of us who, or I was obviously part of this earlier, but a bunch of brand new people that started in that $1 promo in that 3-week promotion in April. So we've got April, you paid $1. So then May, June, July, August, September. So literally we are 2 months away or 6 weeks away from our first members actually getting those cruise vouchers. And so for all of you who were existing members prior to that promotion being launched, come the 1st of September, you'll all get your cruise vouchers as well, which is super exciting. So does that answer that question for you, Di?
Just from the email, then it's a special portal, correct?
Correct.
So is it just linked to that? Is it just linked to, like, so we can see it just, that sounds easy. Thank you.
And as soon as it comes through, as soon as we have access, obviously I'll be able to do live calls on it, but I just can't do it yet because I don't have it.
Yeah.
All right.
Great to do a team trip somewhere.
Yeah, I got nothing in September. Let's do it.
Hey, Kyle.
You are hilarious. All right. Well, guys.
Hey, Kylie, you answered.
Yes.
Hi, Jason here. You just answered the question I was going to ask about the cruises and about us getting our vouchers. So all good. Thank you.
You are welcome. Great to have you on the call.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, there's one last thing that I want to share to wrap up tonight's call. And I had the absolute honor and privilege first thing Monday morning to head on down to my gorgeous friend KB's house, and Cass' husband Dan, he and 3 other gents headed off on a big adventure. And this is something that's 12 months in the planning. And Greg, who put the trip together, or it was his idea, was inspired by 2 old buggers, as he calls it, who literally rode their bikes diagonally across the country from Airlie Beach to Perth and back. And Greg was just so inspired and thought, well, if these old buggers can do it, then surely I can too. And they've put this trip together. They're spending, the challenge was that they've got less than 1,000 kilometers on bitumen. So it's completely on dirt roads and it's completely unsupported. So there's no support vehicles. So this is like a 40-day massive trip with so much planning. And if you haven't already seen it, I won't play it on the call, but I invite you guys to pop over to my Facebook page, and we've actually got a little video. It's just under 5 minutes. Here they are. They picked up another guy on the way, but this is Dan, Cass' husband. We've got Oceans here, as we call him, or George, and Greg. It was actually his idea. It was his dream. And I really loved the message that Greg shares at the beginning of the video. And he says, dreams are meant to be achieved. Go get them. So we have the most incredible membership. We have the most incredible community. We have the most amazing travel platform. And we have dream trips, the best trips in the world. So don't sit on this and just jump on calls. Like, book a trip. The only way you're ever going to truly know what Dream Trips is about is to experience it. We can tell you how amazing it is. Kat's been watching me do these trips for 8 years, and it's only now that she's actually been on a trip that she gets it. And now, like, oh my goodness, like, it is so awesome to see how excited she is. You know, I know Sue has traveled a bunch, and I think Sue told me 1,000 times at Gary, oh my goodness, I'm having the time of my life. This is amazing. It really is. so special what we have. So please, I'm giving you permission. Dream big, because I promise you anything is possible. And through this community, we really do make dreams happen. So love you guys, appreciate you. Thank you so much for jumping on with us tonight. And we can't wait to see you next Tuesday for Travel Tuesday. Mwah. See you guys. Good night.